Hey barbecue fans, welcome to a beautiful day on the Frankenboo Ranch. Okay, so today we've got a special guest. Today we've got Jay, and Jay has got a podcast called The Grill Coach. So Jay and I had met at a market research, if you will. It was a barbecue class. We both said it was market research,
yeah,
right?
because we were there to learn the brisket, right?
Exactly.
Like,
we were there to learn how they did it. He was there to learn more about barbecue. I was there to learn how they do a brisket class in 3 hours, which was, we're just not going to get into it. Anyway, so we started talking, and I was like, hey, man, why don't you come out to the ranch and be on one of the episodes of Academy Q with us. So here he is. Welcome, man.
Thanks, man. This is awesome. I love the setup. Just everything out here. It's like barbecue heaven. Like this is, I would love to be in this spot. I am in this spot.
You are in this spot. So yeah, it's a good time. We have a lot of fun out here. We do a lot of fun recipes. Our members really love it, and it's a good time. I love having people out here so we can just chat barbecue while we're doing the recipes and stuff. So lately I've been doing recipes to accompany your barbecue. So you're having a summer barbecue and you need a little bit extra because you're not going to feed somebody just a brisket.
Are you trying to blow somebody's mind or just give them something they've never seen before or what?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done some crazy stuff, man, that just blow people's mind, and then we've done some basic stuff that people are like, hey, that's great, I never thought of that.
Okay, all right.
So we've done some wings. Today we're going to do some bacon wrapped chicken drumsticks.
Okay.
So I've seen this recipe a couple times. I was like, you know what, I can probably do it. And around here, we like to break out the Spice Weasel and kick it up a notch. I don't know if you're a fan of Futurama, but I'm a huge fan of that stupid show. The guy always breaks out the Spice Weasel, like, bam, and kicks it up a notch. So that's what we like to do around here.
Is that why we're bringing the bacon to chicken?
That's why we're bringing bacon to chicken.
Good combination.
So I learned about the bacon-chicken combination back when we were on the circuit. I had this monster cooker. Is like the size of this thing. It was way too big for competition. It was when we very first started. And I had a pig sponsor. And this guy would give me a whole hog and we'd cook it.
Okay.
And just serve it to the people. We'd sell it for $1. Is before we were ever winning. You sell it for $1 for a 1 ounce sample and you make your money back.
Okay.
So this one old timer told me, he's like, hey, why don't you take chicken legs and stuff it in the cavity and cook it? And he goes, if you stuff chicken legs in the cavity, you're going to have the best chicken leg you've ever had in your life. So we did it. I put probably 60 chicken legs in this 100-pound hog. Best chicken I've ever eaten.
Wow.
And I sold them for $3 and they were gone in like 5 minutes. It was amazing. And so ever since then, it's like you try to blend a little bit of bacon into the chicken. It's fantastic.
Stuffed hog. I like it.
It is. It's really good. So what I've got here is I've got some Just Bare. These are the most organic chicken thighs or chicken legs I could find. Some bacon, and we're going to hit it with a little bit of Smoke Guns Hot. We're going to do some Williams Rib Tickler. If you guys haven't tried this, I use this very rarely, but it is a very good rub. And we're going to hit it with some Dizzy Pig Dizzy Dust. This is our favorite. They used to sponsor us on the circuit. Great rub.
Okay.
The guy has an amazing palate. So good. All right, so let's get at it. Let's go ahead and pop this cryo here.
Man, I love the fact that you're not just using one rub. It's about tasting the rub. It's about layering the rubs.
Exactly.
Getting the flavor and the color that you want with the combinations, right? And It's a matter of like tasting it piece by piece. How can I make this my own? So I like that you're doing this.
Yep. And like when I cook my brisket, I use 6 rubs on my brisket. And when I see people, they're like, oh, just salt, pepper, and post oak, like somebody we know. I'm like, yeah, well, it's not going to taste as good as mine because, you just use the salt and pepper.
Lacking a little depth, right?
Exactly.
I mean, salt and pepper's good. Don't get me wrong. But if you want some depth, right? And you hit them with, they don't know where it's coming from.
You want flavor profiles. And it's like, once you develop a good flavor profile, nothing can beat it, man. It's fantastic. All right, so let's see what we got here. Only 4. I thought there were 6 chicken legs here. Oh, well, whatever. We got 4.
2 for you, 2 for me.
There we go.
Works for me.
All right, so back when we were cooking competition, normally there's a big tendon that runs up from right here up to here. I would pull that out. I'm not really that motivated today. I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to...
That is one of the worst things about eating chicken leg, right? It's that you get that bad bite. So
yeah.
That's good flavor, good bite on the bone. But I think, cleaning it up is better, but...
Exactly. So most people, if you see, like I'm sure if you dig hard enough, you'll find a couple people that do this recipe online. And what they do is they season on top of the skin. I'm not a big proponent of that because if you season on top of the skin, the seasoning's not going to get to the meat. So I like to pull the skin back, season it up, and then pull the skin back down on top of it.
I think even more importantly, the season's not only going to stick on top of the skin, it's not going to help penetrate inside the meat, right? So
it's kind of a barrier.
Yeah,
well, it is a barrier.
It's like that's why with the chicken leg, you have to try to get the skin and meat all in the same bite.
Exactly.
But what you're doing is going above and beyond, man. Look at you.
And I'm not on the circuit anymore. I don't care about bite through skin.
You got your own circuit, bro. You don't need no circuit.
I don't care about that crap. All right, so let's hit these things with some seasoning here. All right, let's start
This bad
with...
boy open? Yeah.
Let's start with that one. All right, make sure. Okay. Dizzy Pig, Dizzy Dust. This is the good stuff right here.
All right, now what are you doing when you're seasoning and you're trying to get on there? Like, are you trying to keep it far away? Like, are you worried about bounce of the seasoning popping off there?
I'm not. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for an even coating.
Okay.
So, see how I got a nice even coating? Like, this is a powerful spice. I don't want to overpower everything, so that's about all I'm going to use of that.
Okay.
Then I'm going to hit it with a little bit of Smoking Guns Hot.
I didn't get to taste this one. I'm going to taste this one.
Taste it. Let me know what you think.
I love the big grains in there.
Yes.
Man, and you get some citrus.
Chris Capel,
I definitely like that.
Chris Capel is the guy who designed these rubs. He's got a whole line of them,
Okay.
and they are just incredible. Every single one of his rubs are absolutely amazing. I've had some guy turned him on to him, and he working in a restaurant, and he was like, "I'm going to have this rub cloned because you can find cloned rubs everywhere." He took it down. The guy's like, "Sorry, it's too complex. I can't clone it." I was like, "I'm not surprised in the slightest because the way it's built. I'm like, it's an amazing rub." So
okay, let me make a point. So you didn't do anything with any kind of binder or nothing there. People think you need to put mustard, you need to put olive oil. You didn't put anything.
Nope.
Where are we going with that?
It's going to sweat.
Okay.
So I see people putting mustard on it. Like when we were on the circuit, I'd see people hitting their stuff with mustard, and I would just automatically count them out because everybody says mustard doesn't leave a flavor. I can pick a flavor. I can pick mustard out if somebody's mustarding their stuff. Olive oil, I'll use olive oil every now and then. But this is a technique I learned on the circuit, is you take the chicken, you season it, and you just let it sit for 30 minutes.
Okay.
In the heat, and that way it starts to penetrate. You'll see these things are going to start to sweat, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap these things up, we're going to season them up, and then we're going to let them sweat. And when you let them sweat, they call it sweating because meat actually starts to sweat. The sodium in the rub starts to break down the fats. You obviously don't want to do this with a very mild, with something like a rib, because you're going to sweat out all the fat in your rib. So you only want to sweat your rib for just a couple of minutes, not long. But with the chicken, you'll see this is going to turn out.
Now, do we only sweat in Georgia, or is it anywhere in the country?
We sweat everywhere.
I know you guys cooked all over the place, but
we sweat everywhere.
okay.
Sweating's a big thing.
I like this too. You're picking up the seasonings off the board. Yeah, kind of
Absolutely.
getting you're really getting a thick coverage on that.
I want a nice coverage here because a chicken leg is a nice thick piece of meat. Now, do you think I need a binder?
Dude, it's on there. What is a binder for, right? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I don't use binders. I don't like the use of binders. When I see somebody using binders, I'm just like, why?
Now, sometimes I do use a binder, so are you judging me now?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's all about learning. It's every barbecue class I've taken, including the one you and I met at, I've learned something.
Okay.
And I've always said you don't know what you don't know until you know it. Which, if you think about it, makes sense.
Gotcha.
In every single class, if you stop learning, then you start growing. It's just one of those things, and it's like I enjoy taking classes just because I'm going to find some pearl of knowledge within that class that is going to help me in my game, and I did in that other class we took.
And you met me in that class.
Exactly.
So
There you go. All right, now we're going to wrap these things in some bacon. Let's see here.
All right, so with cooking with bacon, especially when you're going to wrap something, are you looking for a certain thickness? Are you looking for something that's already smoked? Sometimes they got the pepper bacon. What are you going for?
This one's a hickory. I didn't realize it was a hickory when I bought it. Normally I just buy a straight up bacon because hickory can be a little bit overpowering.
Okay.
Not that big a deal. I'm not going to lose you to sleep over it. But your peppered bacons, no, I don't use those. I don't want to use those. I don't, they're good. They're good to eat, but they're not good to, this is my opinion. They're not good to do like a chicken leg wrap in because then you're going to put all that.
Well, there's an extra seasoning there that you haven't planned for, right?
Exactly. Grab a couple of those. I'm going to stick my greasy chicken fingers in there. Thank you. All right, we'll just secure that just like that.
So thickness, so you're looking just regular thickness?
Regular cut.
If we like bacon, we like thicker bacon. But
so if I'm doing like a candy bacon, millionaire's bacon, whatever you want to call it, I do a thick cut because it's better. It's got better consistency. But just for a regular cook like this, I just want to use a standard bacon. Here, man, have at it.
All right.
I'll put you to work while you're here.
I just wanted to enjoy the scenery, have a little drink, eat some food.
Yeah. That's what we're all about at the ranch here, just cooking,
all right,
eating, having a couple beverages.
let's talk about this bacon rendering. Like, one of the best things on chicken is the skin, right?
Yep.
So is this bacon helping the chicken skin, or what are we doing to that in the process?
What it's doing is flavoring. It's
Okay.
adding additional flavor.
All right.
The skin's not going to be crisp on this because the fat from the bacon is going to keep it from crisping up, but the bacon is going to crisp up because we got the cooker going at 325. We're going to cook at 325 for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to ramp it to 400.
Okay.
And what that's going to do is going to crisp up the bacon and give us a nice crispy piece of bacon wrapped around that chicken leg.
I heard the little gem that you said in there. It flavors the skin. I told you I love chicken skin. I didn't say crispy chicken skin, but it flavors the skin. I'm looking forward to some
Absolutely.
skin flavor.
All right, so this is my new
bacon.
toy. I haven't used this thing yet. This is Flame Fingers. It looked pretty cool. I was like, let's give it a shot.
Okay.
So I've never used it before. As you can tell, it's nice and brand new and clean. So had great reviews on Amazon.
Okay.
So I figured we'd
And just clamping that on there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
stick them in. I mean, put a lot of chicken legs in this thing. All right, there. And this thing seemed to hold in pretty good.
Let's see. Huh? All right. You're gonna hang some bacon on there? Is that what you're gonna do?
Well, I don't know. Let's see
Oh,
what
look at that. Put it in the seasoning. Hey, sure. Let's see.
There we go. Now we got it going.
Hey.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to clean up here. We're going to let this sweat for about 30 minutes. Let the temperature on the cooker even out, and then we'll be right back and fire this thing. Be back in a few. Okay, guys, so our chicken's been sweating for just about 30 minutes, and I forgot to put the cutting board underneath it, but you can see all the juice that's dripping onto my tablecloth that I now have to wash. But make sure you put something underneath it when you're done. So, cooker stabilized at 325 degrees. I've got a blend of fruit wood pellets in there right now because you obviously don't want to put a really heavy wood onto chicken because it'll overpower it. So you don't want to use your hickories or your pecans, anything like that. So we got a nice fruit wood blend. We're going to go ahead and fire this thing.
Now we got hickory smoked bacon, and now fruit wood blend. That's
Yep.
going to double smoke that bacon.
It's going to add a little bit more flavor to the bacon, but when they say hickory smoked, it's not like overpowering. They just like hit it with a little bit of hickory, and when you cook it, you can taste it a little bit, but I don't think we're going to tell too much difference in here.
Okay.
Not bad. So we're going to cook this for about 45 minutes. Then I'm going to come out and I'm going to ramp the temperature up to 400 degrees so we can crisp up that
crispy
bacon and hopefully get that bacon nice and crispy. And then we'll enjoy some chicken legs. So we'll be back in a little bit.
Excellent.
All right. Okay, guys, so here we are at the 1 hour mark. Like I said, at 45-minute mark, I put it up to 400 degrees, so now we're at 400 degrees. The chicken is done, so we're gonna pull this off. We're gonna sauce it. I've got my Blues Hog. Now with the Blues Hog, if you guys have ever used Blues Hog, you know it's a really thick barbecue sauce. You've used
very
this, right?
thick, yeah.
Very thick. So I like to take it and I put about 2/3 to 1/3 with a little bit of apple juice to thin it out.
Okay.
So you can actually get it onto a product without it being that super thick barbecue sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab these things off, and I've got my gloves on.
I think it's important when you thin out a sauce like that you keep the meat the star and you don't let the sauce overpower what you're trying to do with your meat.
Exactly. All right, so you can see these things look really good. You can see the bacon is nice and crisped up. Let's take a quick temp here.
Now you did raise that up to 400.
I did.
For how long?
For 15 minutes.
Okay.
And I can tell just from looking at it how the bacon is crisped up. And this thing is actually pretty cool. This is the first
Did
time
you put a T on that, Chris?
crisped. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to sauce these things up. So we'll see if we can't do it the easy way, and that's just by dipping them.
I want to say dipping meats in sauce is one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah?
For sure.
Then grab some gloves and dip some
I
meat.
can't stand using these brushes, right? It's just, it's very laborious.
Exactly.
You know, this, and this. The other thing I don't like about rubbing with the brushes, I don't want to rub off any seasonings or any bark that I might be trying to
Yes.
create. So I really like dipping.
Good point. Good point. That dipped in there nicely.
Man, that is beautiful. Look at that dripping off of there. I think that's just, it's just looking like
You know what I don't?
candy paint. Just,
And this, and
it's looking so good.
you know when you caramelize this sauce, it's got such a high sugar content. Oh, it's just beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. But what I'm not going to like, I can tell you right now what's going to happen, is the bacon is going to get, it's not going to stay crispy. It might. It depends on how long we put it back. I can hear the bacon crispy.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, that's nice.
I have to say, this was a very simple thing that you did. I don't see any tricks that somebody can't do at home. No. This is just, anybody can do this. Just peel back the skin, put some seasoning on it.
And I think that's going to be key, is the part where I peeled back the skin. Because like I said, you know, if you put it on the skin, it's going to be great. But if you put it under the skin, it's going to be amazing. And that's what we're going to see here. So we're going to pop this back on the smoker for 15 minutes, maybe less. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it and see. Make sure we got this thing all good to go here. All righty. Let's put our fancy little chicken leg rack back in here.
I had to do something. Can't just be the pretty face.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna let that set for about 15 minutes. And we'll be right back to wrap this thing up. Back in a sec.
All right.
Cool. All right, guys, so here we are at the end of the cook. All right, so the chicken wings have been on there, or chicken legs have been on there for about 15 minutes, right at 15 minutes actually. And sauce is set, so let's grab these things off and check them out.
My job right here.
Your job.
Ooh-wee.
Look at these things. Look at that sauce. Remember I said it was gonna set, it's gonna like all caramelize up and look really good?
I love the sizzle. You can just see the sauce bubbling up. And that's caramelization. That's the piece that you really want to get right there.
Absolutely. So let's pop these things off, get the rack out of the way so we can get a good look at these things.
What's it smell like? What does it smell like to you?
Just smells like yummy goodness. All right. Look at that. These things look absolutely incredible.
Now that color comes from that Blues Hog sauce.
Yes. Let's get the toothpicks out of it.
And I feel like that bacon is plenty crisp, sir.
Actually, it sure does
that.
feel like it. Oh man, that's disappointing. I can't give you any. You're not going to like that. Let's cut into one of these things and see what we got here. How about that? Ooh, that looks fantastic. Look at that.
I like the way when you cut it, like right, it's all the pieces are still together.
Yep.
So that means when you take that bite, you're not going to pull off the whole skin with it, or you're not going to pull off the whole piece of bacon with it.
That's what that's what I shoot for. Like normally I'm just going to dive into this thing and eat it, but. What do you think of that?
It's like really melt in your mouth. Is there such thing as chicken butter?
That's what it is.
Because it's just chicken flavor. It's heightened with a little bit of sauce, but not overpowering, but everything there is chicken. Even as I finish it, the flavor I feel on my tongue still, that unctuous chicken flavor.
And it's a great chicken flavor, and the rubs match the chicken. They don't overpower. They complement. The bacon is a nice additive. It complements it well.
And I think the bacon complements the chicken. It doesn't taste like bacon.
Exactly.
It doesn't taste like a bacon wrapped chicken.
Exactly.
If I only had that piece, I wouldn't think that there's bacon there.
But there it is, and it's fantastic.
Beautiful job.
Like I said, guys, this is a really simple recipe you can do for your next backyard barbecue as an appetizer. You can even do this as a meal, you know, make a whole bunch of these things, however you want to do it. But really good, really great, simple recipe, and it came out fantastic.
And do you like the accessory that here you got here?
I love the
How do you feel about that?
Love that thing.
If you didn't have that, what else could I do?
You can lay them right on the grill.
Okay.
I think you're not going to be able to stand them up unless you actually trim the ends of them.
Okay.
You know, but you could lay them flat on the grill. You're going to have a flat spot on one side. It's not going to be terrible. I did, like, if you guys are interested in this thing, look at them online. I got this on Amazon. There's a bunch of different ones. And the ones that I didn't buy, they have like a slot like this and you slide the chicken wing into. Everybody complained.
Where they're kind of like side by side, right?
Yeah, and everybody complained that the chicken leg fell through. So this one was a couple bucks more. Great guys. I don't know who makes it. I can't remember. It's
something fingers.
Flame Fingers. I don't know who they are, but it's a great product. Thank you if you ever see this video. Jay, it was fantastic cooking with you, man.
Oh, man, likewise.
Thanks for coming out, dude.
Yeah, great.
It was a lot of fun, and there we have it. So there you go, guys. Another great recipe for you. Until next time, keep on smoking it.